I wonder if you saw that film from a few years back. It was released amidst the COVID emergency. It was called Don't Look Up. It was a quirky comedy about the struggle of scientists to alert the government and public about a world-ending event heading in from space, but no one seemed to care. Everyone just assumed that life would continue just as it was going to be. It was a parody of how difficult it can be to get people to take science seriously. That was true of the COVID emergency 5 years ago. It was true of the climate crisis today. Fiction maybe, but its title captured a truth. For when was the last time that you looked up? I mean, really looked up at the stars, at the clouds. When did you last take a moment to be engulfed by the sheer wonder of it all? There's a story in the Bible of a man called Job. God encouraged him to look up at the wonderful world around him, the stars, the clouds, the amazing animals around him, the sea and the sky. And he responded that he'd heard of God, but now he had seen God. My name's Dave Gregory. I'm a church minister with a background and a passion for God's gift of science. And in this series, like Job, we want to reawaken you to the wondrous world that's around us, full of wonder and rich variety coming together, each playing its part. To help you look in a fresh way at this world, which is God's gift to us, giving us life, and in which our life is woven perhaps more than we know, even entwined with the playfulness and the being of God. So come and join the journey, looking at our world and perhaps beyond it. You know, I'm always looking up, night and day, day and night. My journey with science began with astronomy half a century ago, less than a blink of an eye in the long history of the cosmos. And I still gaze up at the stars, their familiar patterns fixed year in, year out over the short breath of my life, bringing comfort and joy. They've become familiar friends which give shape and orientation to my life. No matter how much I look up, the vista of the night sky never loses its wonder for me. But while the stars may be familiar friends, it's a friendship that's often interrupted by the weather. Arriving at university, wanting to become an astronomer, I was excited to go to the domed observatory and use the telescope. It was exciting, but incredibly frustrating. Week after week would pass and you would never see a single star or a planet. The clouds blocked the view every night we booked it. So somewhere on that journey, I decided to look up during the day and not just the night. I became a meteorologist, discovering the ever-changing wonder of the weather, wonder that's closer to hand than the distant stars, yet still much a mystery. One evening a few years back, I was walking along a street, admiring the vista of the setting sun, and my mobile phone started to buzz with text and messages. For once, people were looking up. Something amazing had caught their eye. What were those strange lights and colours in the sky? A moment of wonder had evolved into curiosity. As I looked up, either side of the setting sun, about a hand's breadth away, were two patches of light. Each was shaded in the hues of colours familiar from a rainbow: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. But while the colours were the same, this wasn't a rainbow. These were what the ancients called sundogs, following their master sun around the sky. Now, perhaps people looked up more in those days, but if you know where to look, you can catch a glimpse of them quite often. The sky was filled with wispy, graciously flowing and falling ice clouds, and it's these that make the sundogs. But not every ice cloud, for ice crystals come in all kinds of different shapes and forms. Some regular, some just a mixture of different shapes. To get sundogs, you need a very specific ice crystal. It needs to be flat, It's a hexagonal plate. Just like a raindrop makes a rainbow, each different colour of light is bent slightly differently by the ice crystal. When you think about it, it takes something that's really big and ancient, the sun, and something that is really, really small that may only last a moment, ice crystals. And only together at the right place and the right time, they produce a spectacle that is wondrous and beautiful, that captivates a creature like us. The wonder of it can bring joy, a smile on our faces, even a feeling of gratitude. We're alive in a world so full of simple beauty. The people who were messaging me probably felt these things, but it caused them also to question because they didn't know what they were seeing. Questions that drive forward scientific explorations to understand something of the unknown mystery of creation. And not knowing is not always comfortable. It can leave us feeling powerless and vulnerable in the face of something we don't know or understand. But this too is a part of wonder. You don't see sundogs every day. The sky's too playful for that. You just need to look at all the clouds in all their variety to appreciate how playful it is. Angel-like ice clouds, cirrus winging across the sky. Flat grey nimbostratus, clouds that dampen our days as the rain falls from them, and yet which gently waters the crops on which we depend. Then there's fluffy cumulus-like cauliflower type clouds drifting slowly across a warm summer sky, or more ragged, racing along in the blustering wind. Then there's tall, majestic, magnificent thunderclouds, cumulonimbus. They're wonderful out on a distant horizon, perhaps less so if you're caught in the downpour under them. One night on a plane, we flew alongside one for over an hour. It was constantly illuminated by flashes of lightning erupting from one part of the cloud to another as the winds twisted up and then down. Not something you'd want to fly into, nor be under when the twisting winds of a tornado fall from their base, tearing up the ground and everything on it. And then bigger still as thunderstorms gather spinning over the warm ocean waters. Hurricanes with winds that can destroy towns and cities, driving huge storm surges that deluge coasts, lashing rain adding to the devastation. The sky is playful, but it can be a rough game. One of the miracles of science is that we can try and predict the weather at all, but it's not easy. The sky's just too playful for that. The recipe for a successful weather forecast needs the most powerful computers in the world. Throw in a vast number of observations from land and sea and the air and even from space, gathered by people and machines measuring the wind, temperature, humidity, by the sensors on the planes we journey across the world on, and from the measurements made from the silence of space by satellites orbiting the Earth. Then stir in an understanding of our air and heat and water flow, and hey presto, out pops the forecast. It's not magic, although it might seem that way. A gift of science's understanding of the world, building through the centuries of the persistent, playful creativity of scientists. This too is a gift we should be grateful for it helps us make those everyday decisions. Should I put the washing out? Shall I go to the beach? At times it keeps us safe, warning us about dangerous weather we might meet on the roads, the sea, or walking up a mountain. But while it's an amazing achievement to understand and predict the weather, it's never going to be perfect. You just ask my family how many times we've been caught out in a storm because perhaps I put a little bit too much trust in the forecast. Meteorologists, while being rightly proud of all that's been achieved, well, they also need a dose of humility. For every weather forecaster knows there will come a time when the forecast is not as accurate as they would like. No, the sky is just too playful for that. I was once on a small boat sailing down the Amazon River. It was a lot warmer than it was today. On the muddy banks we could see butterflies resting, red and green, vibrant blue, bright yellow. It reminded me of a saying that describes the playfulness of the sky. If a butterfly flaps its wings on the banks of the Amazon, you might get a tornado 5 days later in Texas. Now that sounds absolutely crazy. It sounds preposterous that an unmeasurable puff of wind can turn into a 100-kilometer-an-hour gale that destroys everything in its path. But that's how the weather works. Small changes in the wind can build into huge storms. Now, meteorologists have learned that we can get a handle on this playfulness by running lots of different weather forecasts, setting each one off with a slightly different combination of temperature, moisture, and wind. Sometimes the predictions are similar. The play of the air is controlled, organized. Other times the playfulness is wild and the forecasts vary dramatically, making it difficult to tell people what will happen. You see, in the air, small things matter. They can be a difference between a lovely sunny day or a gale that will leave you running for that beachside cafe for a hot chocolate while you watch the waves come crashing in. Small things can make a difference to the earth too, being a home for a vibrant community of life or a place where life might never have taken hold. The Earth's atmosphere is made up of a community of different gases. It's mostly nitrogen, which bulks it out, protecting us from rocks coming in from space and enabling plants to thrive. Then there's oxygen, which sustains animal life. But only less than 1 part in 100, less than 1%, is water vapor. And there's even less carbon dioxide, methane, and the other gases measured in parts per million. But these greenhouse gases are responsible for maintaining the climate of the Earth. Water vapor, carbon dioxide, and others in their smallness trap energy from the sun. They warm the planet by 30 degrees centigrade, turning it from what would have been a frozen snowball in space, with ice from pole to equator, to a home for a vast community of life beyond measure, of which we play a part, yet not always by the rules. We don't always play fair. Small though a butterfly's wings are, it might have a huge impact on the world. And small though we seem compared to the vastness of the sky and the power of the sun, we too are having an impact. Fossil fuel burning, releasing carbon stored through millions of years in a couple of hundred, leads to the warming of the planet as carbon dioxide builds. 1.5 degrees so far. How much more? 2, 3, 4 degrees? Well, that's down to us. And as the Earth warms, the playfulness of the sky gets wilder, affecting those who are responsible for adding most of the additional carbon dioxide to our air. But more so those in their smallness have contributed little, yet who know the impact of the rough play of the weather on already fragile lives. And not only people, but the lives of the whole community of creation with which we share the amazing, wondrous, playful yet fragile world in which we live. So look up at the vastness of it all, vastness that can make us feel very small. Small, yes, but with the creative potential to understand the play of the air, a game which we can perceive the rules of, a game in which we play our part, changing the climate now and for the future generations of people and the whole community of creation. Yet a game that we cannot control or fully know the ending of. For all the insight science gives, or because of them, perhaps they should call us back to humility before the powerful, awe-inspiring playfulness of the sky. Have you ever played that game on a lazy summer afternoon? You know, the one where you look up, watching the ever-changing vista of the clouds floating by as they twist and turn and billow and appear and fade, dreaming, imagining shapes among the clouds. I wonder what you saw. What did you perceive up there? Do you see God? Well, perhaps not, for one of the songs in the Bible says God makes darkness his covering, his canopy thick clouds dark with water. Clouds and hiddenness are actually constant companions in the Bible story. From the cloud that enveloped Moses as he met God on Mount Sinai, to the clouds that hid the risen Jesus as he ascended to heaven. The hiddenness of clouds speaks of the utter otherness of God, an otherness that evokes fear, an emotion that can be a part of wonder that we experience over creation. Edvard Munch self-portrayed open-mouthed angst in his painting The Scream, commented in his journal that as he saw a blood-red sky, he felt a scream pass through nature. Wonder leaving us small, isolated, as the lone tree stands below the towering clouds of the sky. Divine hiddenness revealed, leaving us wanting hiddenness before the immensity of the one who shapes the sky, or longing for connection with the one holding it all together, holding on to us. In the shaping the clouds by our imagination, is there an invitation to share in the playfulness of God found within creation, delighting with the Creator over what he sees as good? This is a never-ending game. God asked Job, who has wisdom, to number the clouds, and even today with our scientific vision of creation provided by satellites far above the earth, far above the cloud tops, we struggle to know how much of the earth is truly covered by clouds. Yet that's not stopped us naming their variety. Fluffy cumulus supplying cooling shade on a summer's day, cumulonimbus towering skyscrapers in the sky, white, grey and darkness, rain lashing beneath them as they sweep across the landscape. Or flat stratus, moving slowly, relentlessly, gently watering the fields. Mackerel sky, rolling cells of air moving up and down, breaking up those flat sheets of cloud into the beauty of hexagonal mosaics, tinged red by the setting sun. Or angel wings of icy, wispy cirrus spreading, embracing village, towns, cities. Yet while we name them, we can never exhaust the infinite variety that the simple combination of flowing air, water and ice create. As Jesus said, the wind blows where it chooses, and so it is with the Spirit of God, hovering over waters in the beginning of creation, ever bringing forth and sustaining the glorious variety of all the things as God sends forth his Spirit, ever creating clouds of inexhaustible variety. And our lives, in all their difference and vitality, each reflecting an image of the one through whom and for whom all things have been created. Our scientific vision of the world enables us to see clouds as part of a global water cycle, connecting oceans, rivers and streams, ice sheets and snowfields, the land and the air. Even the ancients caught a glimpse of this. One of Job's challengers, speaking of God drawing up drops of water, distilling his mist in rain which the skies pour down and drop upon mortals abundantly. In all things, God works for good. Water makes up less than 1/100th of the air we breathe, clouds less than 1,000th. Yet together with even small amounts of the other greenhouse gases, they trap the heat of the sun, warming our world from a frozen snowball spinning in space to one teeming with the community of life of which we are a part, in which, created in the image of God, we play our part. Before the clouds, another of the Bible's songs of praise declares, your steadfast love, O Lord, extends to the heavens, your faithfulness to the clouds. So look up. Look to the clouds. What do you see? Fear, yet faithfulness towering above us beyond our imagining. The solidity of the faithful love of God among the tenuous transience of the clouds. Faithfulness to be trusted among the tenuous transience of our lives.